Okay, so you have the photograph that I gave you, link in the description box. I drew up my line drawing here. Patreon members get this trace if they want the traceable. Basically, I want to do kind of a really loose, quick kind of building. You don't have to make it always, you know, super serious and all that great stuff. I want to do more abstract kind of feeling to it. I'm going to be painting this on hot press paper. This is Baohong's hot press paper, 100% cotton. And I want to paint it in the same vein. I did something like this. I did this on my Patreon live for my super Patreons. It just really kind of, you know, this is really tight drawing, but we're not going to paint it that way. You can paint somewhat that way. We're going to kind of paint some loosely, you know, so a little loose, a little tight in some areas. So I will be playing with my flat wash brush. This is a Princeton 3/4 inch Velvet Touch series. You know, if you don't have Velvet Touch, you can go whatever flat wash you have. And I'm going to be playing with two colors here, sepia and Van Dyke Brown from Holbein. So again, we're going to be playing, I don't necessarily care about painting the whole rustic scene so much. We can grab some of the burnt sienna in here and the trees, and the roof doesn't have to be super perfect. We want to play with just getting really loose. So I'm getting my water on my brush. And here is this is the Van Dyke Brown. And this is the sepia. So it's more of like a black brown. That's the Van Dyke Brown. Those are great ones to play with. And this is the sepia, excuse me, burnt sienna. And then I have quinacridone sienna, which is kind of fun, from Daniel Smith. So I'm getting them loose. And when you'll find out with hot presses, the paint kind of just sits on top. So it's pretty loose. It's like a consistency of coffee. And I'll get this first wash with this lovely burnt sienna in here. I'm just going across, right? We can kind of go over our trees a little bit. Just go across real quick. Again, I'm not going to think too much. I'm not going to think too hard. Now we got a lot of browns and grays. I'm going to grab this brown. Because it's really kind of more gray than brown, but just, again, I'm just playing, putting that, this is the Van Dyke Brown. That's the sepia. I know it's more gray, but we can make it more brown. See, I'm just going really quick, filling this in. Let's go over all this and even some of this. We can make it grayer. It's just I'm leaving like a layer of brown color. And I left the trees kind of white. Right, and I can go back over my sepia. I'm even just going to play with just going over all this. And then the roof is like, I don't know. It can keep it brown, or you can add some, make a green tone. If I grab some peacock blue and mix it in, get kind of that greenish color. And you see, I'm just really kind of painting this quickly. Not much, you know, I'm not really going serious. And this gets you out of your head. Sometimes people overthink when they're painting stuff. Now you can grab this is the sepia. And I'll just take the brush, hit that side, go like that a little bit. I'm going to be playing with shadow in a minute. So we've got some grays happening over here, and even some, I don't really have sepia anymore. So I can kind of lift some of this paint off my palette and grab some ultramarine blue deep. And we've got our grays. We can start to play with that. The gray here, this gray, mostly gray here. I'm going right over top of my color that I did before. Again, I'm just mapping this out. I don't really care if it looks perfect or not. Remember, it's going to get darker with the shadow here. It's pretty light here. And we get some deeper colors there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of gray here. Not much more. We can play with a little bit of gray on this roof. If it's a lot of burnt sienna, it's okay. I can lift it up. And I'm going to grab some more gray. Or wait till it dries and go put the gray layer over on top of it. Because it's still, I want to keep this kind of light on this side. Now, playing with the grayish brown tone, I might grab some ultramarine blue deep, mix it in this sienna, sepia color. And you see this little shadow from this overhang just coming down here. Again, I'm still using this brush. Get that shadow, right? And then we get this doorway, just holding it on its side. Little movements. Probably get that a little bit darker still. And then we have this. And then we have a nice little shadow. This is still very wet. I don't want to go in here yet. I want to let this dry a little bit. So we can play with the shadows over here. They kind of go down the tree. And then maybe the wiggle. I can still use this brush and kind of wiggle the side of it. And down a little bit. Add a little bit of lines. And then we have the shadow along the ridge here. Still playing with this. I might have to grab a little bit more of this sepia and ultramarine blue deep just to get that a little bit darker. Okay, doesn't want to play little lines like that. You can see the shadow now. But this one's really stark, right? Now this is still very wet, but this one's dry. And so you can kind of go over here and down here. Again, for the shadow. Look at that. I mean, I just did it quickly with this brush. I don't really think too much about it. And over in here. Just trying to fill in some of those areas that are darker. And it might even get darker still by grabbing those two colors and just using the corner of my paintbrush. And then in between the little ladder. I know it's very tricky to paint with something this big with that, but I did. Why not? I feel like the roof here is kind of blended too much. Maybe it should have been a little bit lighter here. If I did, I could lift it a little bit by having some damp water on my brush. And then it will kind of create a little fun texture. I could always put a glaze over it. So I'm gonna let this dry and just lift the paint by just having a damp brush and going right over this, gently lifting up the paint and tapping it back on my paper towel. But I'm really kind of loving all this. So then down here, we're gonna have a little fun. Even though it's green, it's a little brown, so we can go back to our Van Dyke brown. We can even grab some sepia. And we're gonna grab some green too. So cadmium yellow deep, a little Prussian blue, and a little burnt umber, kind of green. Okay, so my palette. Could probably need some more paint. Get this really wet. I'm just gonna go across here, like so. Hot press is fun sometimes if you play with it. And the paint just sits on top, right? Get a little bit darker here. And I'm gonna add the green. As you see the green little mound here. And so it's kind of blending, but it's not one of those papers like cold press where it really blends nicely. I'm gonna add a little brown into my green and get that color back here for the grass there. You see a little grass kind of poking up this way. We haven't done the trees yet, but it's just a little green right there. If mine is not as perfect as that, I don't care. I'm gonna go back and get that Van Dyke brown. Mix a little blue in there. Loosen that up. And do another wash. Crisscross, applesauce. Kind of like, just kind of a loose texture. You know? And for the tree, just get kind of like a loose brush. I have this little #2 radial brush that I've found amongst my brushes. So basically it's just a brush that's been twisted and pushed around. I'm gonna grab some Prussian blue, some cadmium yellow deep, and some wonderful burnt umber. I'm mixing this up a little bit thicker so it's not coffee. It's more heading towards cream and milk. And we're just gonna twist and turn the brush. Now, if you don't have a little ratty brush like this, I'll show you how to do it with not a variety brush. You can just take like a, oh, I don't know, any one you have, like even a 12. Make sure this one's wet, or even a 10 brush. A stiff one. This is Aqua Elite number 10, and I grab the brush. So don't put water on it, and you're just kind of moving the brush. So it's kind of like a dry brush technique. Kind of push down and move it like that. And you'll get the same, similar, a little bit more dry brush look. I'm going to get a little bit more thicker paint that's darker, kind of here and there, and play with that. And that's all you do for that. I'm going to add a little bit more light yellow green down here, thick yellow paint. See some light yellow coming on that section, and then down in here as well. And there's little pops of color kind of here, of green. I don't know what, there's a little green here. So it's basically dry brush, right? And you can mix this dry brush of green. Now that's a little bit wet. My brush is a little bit wet. A little bit green. I'm gonna go back here and just kind of put that color in there. And we see some little tree in the background again. Pick some color, tap on a paper towel so it's just a dry brush. And you can put that little tree back there like that. And a little small one. Voila. Going to go back with my blue-brown, darker shade for the shadow. You can see kind of over here. I'm using the 10 round, right? And then we have this dark part of the building here. This is when you do the details. And then we have that shadow coming in here. Right? I don't know what's over here. And there's like a little pipe here. And then I guess you see the shadow kind of goes down like that. And now we just kind of have fun with, you know, I might go back in with my gray again. Water it down a little bit. You can just take the brush and just make some little lines. That you see, because of the wood, it's all these little slats. Even here, get a little bit gray. And I'm going to grab a linear brush, the liner brush. There's some gray tones here. Keeping all this stuff light and gray. And then the darker tone, as you can see, it was much darker. The shadow from the trees going down this way. Wiggle, wiggle. And there's some dark color right under the side of this. And under here. And a little shadow from this piece of wood. I don't know, the things going on here. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I would take my liner brush. We love this color. This is that wonderful Van Dyke brown. You can mix it with a little ultramarine blue deep if you don't want it brown. Brown's kind of pretty though. And then just making the simple slats going down. I'm just making this jerky movement, going right through my stuff. Right? Do. Again, it's just a loose watercolor. We don't want to have to get into a lot of detail work. And then just put the line going across. You can put a part of the little, maybe the little shingle roofs. Do. Just got to play. I want it kind of loose, right? And maybe some little skinny lines here. Get this a little bit more wet. Okay, I feel like I'm getting too literal, and I don't want to do that. I was going to make it more simple. And this pretty light color in there. I'll just put a wash of color in there. Just go in here, grab some sepia. I'm sorry, burnt sienna. Just kind of wash in and over here. Now we can do some dry brushing with our flat wash brush. Little texture. So it's wet, but I'm going to dry it with my paper towel. Grab some of this color. And this part should be dry. I can just make these marks like that. A little bit more fun energy playing around. And then for the sky, again, if I wanted to make it a little bit more, you know, kind of fun, I could just leave it like this, you know, get that blue color in there for the sky. I'm gonna grab some more ultramarine blue deep, loosen it up, but I'm not gonna paint it like across the whole thing. And I could usually do skies first, but I'm just gonna get this really loose wet, and we're gonna go like this. I just suggest the sky. So it has more of an abstract feel to it. Grab some water. I just don't want everything to be so perfect all the time. I'm gonna go into the building a little bit. This is our little sunny day at the farm. Now you don't even have to put the sky in. I'm just gonna go like that, really loose. I don't want to make it perfect. This kind of crazy sky. Just having fun. And that's pretty much it. Look how quick that was, right? Got a really loose feel to this. And go back in here. Twist and turn my brush. Could do splats. You know, it can be kind of fun too. There's a lot of nice fun energy going on. Go back with my brown. Or even some sepia, but I'm sorry. I keep saying sepia. Some quinacridone sienna. You know, make some, I'm gonna do a big splat. A little energy. Playing. That's what it's all about. Play with your stuff. And that's it. That's all she wrote. So isn't that fun? Simple building, right? Don't have to overthink this. Really quick shadows. Throw everything in. Boom. Try it on hot press. Try it on cold press. Try it any which way you can. And see, I love the energy of all this craziness. And it's up to you if you want to do that craziness or not. Again, you can go back in and make some serious, just taking your brush and going up, doing all the little lines if you need to for the building. And a little bit darker areas still. Play around with that. See how it works for you. All these details happen at the end. You know, you want to put the little shadow under the rock. I don't want to make it so serious though. It's our little barn. It's our little barn and we're sticking with it. And I'm just going to get this a little grayer. All right, so I hope you had fun. And think about when you're painting something, even if it's a subject because it's a barn, it seems daunting. You got to paint all those little slats and everything else. And if I think about some things that I might have missed, could have been this wonderful little turquoisey kind of colored window. I just go back in here and put that color in. And there was another one up in here. And that's about that. You got to have fun with your watercolor. You got to think about the tonal values, use different brushes, have fun with the different types of papers. That's what it's all about for me. It's like studying different ways to play around with, to push and pull, get creative, all that great stuff. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. And like I said, if you're a Patreon member, get the trace for this. Patreon member gets all kinds of great perks. First dibs in watercolor workshops and retreats. You're going to have a discount code for coming up for my Zoom classes. Yeah, we have a Facebook group. And, you know, like I said, you get all kinds of videos that are not, and tutorials that are not on YouTube, that are more extensive, that are like an hour long with reference photo and traceable and all that great stuff. And we have a lot of fun over on Patreon. So go check it out. Link is in the profile. And happy painting!